folks, welcome ye all to yet another podcast of mine. I'm coming at you on a Thursday this week. A Thursday. What is going on, Steve? What is Flagons Up Thursday all about? Well, I'll tell you what it's all about, people. I am finally on holiday. It's my new gen holiday and it started today. Well, it started at the end of today. And so I am off now for 3 weeks. Woohoo! Well, it is 3 weeks, but we'll monitor. I'll monitor my day job and see if I'm needed. I shall come back and do a little bit and then come off again. But at the moment, everything's calm. 3 weeks it is, and that's me pulling holiday time back and stuff. And I'm really looking forward to this break, people. I really, really am. I love my job, and I really, really do. But with every day job, you need a break from time to time, and I've gone a fair haul there without a decent time out. So, and I did through a big session which I've talked about already in another podcast. I did a lot of extra hours at one point trying to get a product ready for enrollment days and all that sort of stuff. So I'm pulling a lot of that sort of stuff back, and I'm just going to let my brain rest and enjoy everything that is new gen when these consoles arrive, people. And also the PS5 arrives at the tail end of the second week, so having that third week is just even more of an opportunity to punch out more videos for you guys. And I'm so excited just to enjoy these 3 weeks of new gen. And that's exactly what the topic of this podcast is about, people. And, well, part of it. I do have a little bit of gaming news for you. Little bits have picked up. We'll talk about them at the tail end of it. But I want to first talk about what I've recorded for this week and what I've got planned for this coming weeks, which I have talked about, but I haven't talked about one of these things, and we'll get into that. So one thing you've been asking me for ages, so we'll talk about that. So we've got loads to talk about as it happens. It's just more about me wanting to enjoy these weeks, what I'm going to do with it, how I'm going to try and engage with you guys, try and bring you content you want and all that sort of stuff. So there you are. Flagons up to you all. A Thursday flagon, people. My goodness me. I tell you, I normally have a glass, well, I say little, have a large glass of Stella normally is what I have. But this is actually a Carlsberg Pilsner, people, and I've not had one for a while, and it's rather nice, I have to tell you. And it's ice cold as well. My goodness me, that's lovely, people. Well, I don't have to look at my list, actually, because I know what the first two topics are. Firstly, you'll have noticed that I put a poll up last week, and I asked people, in fact, we can see what the result was. I've not looked at it in a little bit, but I asked people whether I should stop recording. This was in last week's podcast, well, around last week's podcast, whether I should stop recording until the Xbox Series X arrived, because I was starting to lose, because I was posting up videos and getting this weird reaction of people unsubbing, and I think it was because it's like, oh, he's only on the Xbox One X now, and there's loads of folk with Series X's and PS5s. So, I was like, I'm doing detriment to the channel by posting stuff up that's actually making people unsub, which was just crazy. So anyway, the poll in the end came out heavily on, no, don't stop recording, keep recording until the Series X arrives. We'll see what the actual results were. So yeah, it was 23 votes and 87% of you said keep going with the recording. So that's exactly what I did do for the main part. I didn't do any Wasteland 3, but I did continue with Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning on the Xbox One X because I'm thoroughly enjoying that game, to be fair. And I really wanted to... Why do I feel really low down in this? There's a big... Should be... Hang on a minute. Wait for the judder here. I could have loosened the winder, but that's a bit better, isn't it? So, well, either I've shrunk or the stand was wound up when I put it back last time. I hope it's the second of those options. So anyway, I spent some of the... I had a night where I recorded 3 episodes. One went up yesterday, one went up today. There'll be another one tomorrow. I did want to do another one, actually, just to get me out of where I am, which is in the sewers. because I wanted to carry this Let's Play over to the Xbox Series X. It won't be the first thing I record, but I wanted to carry it over and just see how much better it plays, and if it's a lot smoother and all that sort of stuff just by nature, without any sort of patch, just playing better. Because there is a lot of screen tearing in the sections I've been in, and it's beautiful, but it's got a lot of tearing, and I'm hoping the Series X would just get rid of that tearing. And so there's things like that I want to look at, and I still want to continue the Let's Play because I'm thoroughly enjoying it, because I've just been playing the Teeth of Naros and having the time of my life, because I'd never played it before, that DLC. So I'm still in the midst of all of that. So the part that you get tomorrow, which is part 14, I think, that will be the last Let's Play that I do, recording-wise, before the Series X arrives on Tuesday. And depending on what happens on Tuesday will depend on how quickly I get something up for you, because it all depends on Mr. Amazon delivery guy at this point. You know, is he going to bring it at 7 a.m. or is he going to bring it at 7 p.m.? I've got no idea. What I am getting is a lot of emails from them saying, oh, we're going to send this early, or we're going to send this on time, because what you tend to do is you pick standard delivery for a new game that's coming out, for example, and it goes on, like, normally standard delivery will be 2 days after, you know, but they send you an email going, actually, you're getting it on the day. Woo, aren't you lucky? But we know that. Because if they didn't do that, everyone would order everywhere else instead of them, because why would you wait 3 days to get a launch day title? So yeah, so I've been getting those emails. Valhalla emailed today saying it's coming on the day of release. And I haven't got an email yet to say anything's shipped. I did get 2 more emails saying that my DualSense controller, my additional one, is coming on the 12th. And my 3D headset is coming on the 12th. And we know this. I talked about it in a podcast previously about the fact that for some reason Sony is shipping any accessories a week before they're shipping the PS4, which PS5, sorry. And it's a bit strange. Like, I think I'd rather have the PS5 and the accessories a week early. I still don't understand why I've not got my PS5 on the 12th, because there doesn't seem to be any reason I can't have it. You know, it feels to me like the stocks are already here and they've already been distributed to the people that need to ship them out. So why have we got to wait a week later than America, for example, and other regions that are getting it on the 12th? We've got to wait until the 19th. So I'm getting all my accessories on the 12th, which would suggest to you that the PlayStation 5s are also with them, but I'm not getting, I'm not getting my PS5 on the 12th. I'm getting it on the 19th. So it's just frustrating, and it's like, why? Like, they've never given a good reason why. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it seems to be they want to have 2 launch days. It's like, well, don't. Like, by the time I actually get to show off Demon's Souls, someone's going to have been playing it for a week, because they're in America and they're just lucky getting a PS5 earlier than me. Absolutely nothing to do with the fact that they're better than I am. It's just to do with the fact that they were allowed to get their PlayStation 5 before I was. So I'm Bob bamboozled as to why I can't have my PlayStation 5 on the 12th. I'm not too fussed, because I appreciate the fact that I'm getting the Series X, and there's quite a lot of stuff I wanted to do with the Series X before I had to then dig into the PS5. However, I could have bounced between the two, and it might have made some sense for me to do that, because I want to post up videos of older stuff and compare them and all that sort of thing. Not side by side, not like Digital Foundry do, but just play a section of, the beginning of some games from this last gen, and see just how much better they play. And then it would have been nice to then, do it on the Xbox, then do, because I've got a lot of these RPGs on both. So it just would have been nice to have the option. It would have been nice to test out, and just be on the same level pegging that people in the States are for the PS5s. People in the States are getting their Xbox Series X's on the 10th, and we're getting ours on the 10th. Why couldn't the PlayStation have done it the same way? I'm still holding out a small piece of hope that they just go, you know what, just ship them if they want them. I realise it's not going to happen, but there's a tiny weeny, like 1% of me thinks maybe PlayStation will go, here, you know what, they're ready, Amazon want to ship them, let them ship them. And, you know, if that happens, then I'll be delighted. But I can feel it all start. The mechanism is starting to move. Just as I was coming back from the shop before I recorded this, I was getting the email saying, "Oh, your stuff's getting shipped on the 12th, and you know your game's coming to you on the 10th," and all these things were starting to happen. So at some point over this weekend, I'm expecting your Series X stuff has been shipped. And in this case, the Series X stuff involves the Series X and Valhalla, because that's the two things that I've got coming. And then we're going to do a whole bunch of recording and other such stuff with Valhalla, and I'm gonna mix that up with a whole bunch of current gen stuff to see just how well these RPGs play now that we've got the Series X. So you've got, you know, Kings of Amalur, Skyrim, Fallout 4. I mean, there's a whole ton of them down there. Witcher 3. I mean, I'm forgetting half of them. Divinity's down there. Divinity 2, although Divinity 2 is on there. Yeah, I've got Divinity 2 for the Series X. And I'd love to see that playing again, because that did have screen tearing in it. I mean, I remember playing it thinking, why has this got screen tearing for a top-down visual, you know, probably because they went for 8K and it couldn't cope. So it'd be really nice to see that playing really sweetly. And I'd like to, you know, there's also Baldur's Gate 3, made by the same people. That's going to be coming out, well, I think it's already kicking about for PC, isn't it? Or some version of it is. But that'll be coming to console soon, and it's a similar style, you know, done in the Dungeons and Dragons type worlds. Anyway, there's a whole ton of stuff that I want to share with you guys and post videos up about. I spent last night creating new little thumbnails for the YouTube videos to go up for PlayStation 5 for Series X. I think what I'm going to do this time, I don't know, I'll wait and see how it looks, but at the moment, I tend to do the little thumbnails with a little coloured number 1, number 2, and the colours kind of whatever colour I think's distinctive within the little picture I've chosen. And they work well, and they look really nice as sets and stuff. But I think from a channel perspective, I think it would be much, and from a video up there for people that go, "Oh, what's this?" perspective, I think it's much clearer if I make those predominant, you know, it'll be a green number with a green bar for Xbox, it'll be a blue number with a blue bar for the PlayStation. I did toy with the idea of doing the white and black like the new PS5 has, but it doesn't work. No matter how I tried it on the thumbnail, it just didn't look right, so I'll stick with the blue. The blue for PlayStation is still valid. You know, their PlayStation logos and everything are still blue, and their boxes are still blue. It's just the label on the box has turned to white and black. So it's still a valid colour to be using for PlayStation. It's still recognisable, I think. So I've got all of this stuff going on. Now, on top of that, all of this planning going on, I should say. And design work, because I'm working on it, people. The intros and outros are going to be the same. I'm still going to stick with my Houston Blah and still do the intros and outros the same way. All of that's going to stay the same. It's just the thumbnails that I wanted to make fresh and really push it out there that this is Series X, this is PlayStation 5, you know, and different. And clear that it was Xbox or PlayStation as well. I think I might have lost subs because I've been so heavy on Xbox and not really balanced it out with any PlayStation recently, and that's simply because I love the Xbox Series One X so much. But of course that'll all change because I already know I'm going to adore the PS5. The fact that it's deadly quiet, the fact that it is alright. You can argue the toss about 2 teraflops or whatever it is of a difference. But make no mistake, both of these consoles are going to have their own advantages, and you know I'd be interested to see what Digital Foundry do with them. But there will be things that I'm going to try. I mentioned Skyrim earlier. I'll absolutely give Skyrim a go on the PlayStation 5 and compare it to how it's playing on the Series X, and see, you know, and Fallout 4 as well, and just try and compare how the two look. Just, you know, a few episodes, and then we'll carry it on if people want to see more on one of them. And really strike a balance between Series X and PlayStation 5 so that they're both getting airtime. So I might judge that on maybe if Digital Foundry get games early and they tell us which one performs best or which one they felt, you know, gave the best experience, and just try and base it on that. Or maybe I'll just alternate it and say, well, I got this for the Series X last time, so I'll get it for the PlayStation, this one for the PlayStation 5 this time, and try and keep the channel like that so that we're getting a balance of both. And I think that'll be and I think that'll keep a lot of people happy. And, you know, also I don't want my channel to look like it's just an Xbox channel. It's kind of become that over the last year and a half, whatever it's been. So, and I don't have any preference. You know that. I love both sides of the platform. I was very heavily PlayStation when it was the Pro, and even when it was the standard PlayStation. And then when the Xbox Series X came out, I just went straight onto that for the extra power and everything. So, and I loved the console. It was so quiet and just everything worked great. And, you know, so now that we'll have a sort of level pegging, it'll be nice to balance the two things out a bit more. So, with all that in mind, I've been having, and some of you have been asking, because I said to you, what do you want me to do for the new gen? And, and not just when I asked this time, but over the years that I haven't done anything, a lot of you asked me to do streaming again. And a lot of that's down to time and not wanting to make the commitment because, I don't want to feel under pressure to do them. But I'd like to be able to set up so that I can do them on the fly if I feel like I want to do one, and have it set up professionally so that you guys get a good experience when we are streaming. And it kind of led me to, because I already had my Streamlabs stuff set up from so long ago when we did the last stream. It must be a few years now. But because I'd rebuilt my laptop to sort it out at one point, all the settings and stuff in OBS that I'd set up and all of this stuff had sort of, the Streamlabs stuff that I'd set up the last time had all gone, and I'd have to sort of remind myself how it all works, retrain my brain effectively. But a lot's changed since I did it last time, and there's now a version of OBS that is Streamlabs OBS, which has kind of got it all built into it. I've got OBS installed on its own, but I think I can install OBS Streamlabs separately, and I'll use that just for doing the streaming, and I'll be able to design everything in there. I had a little look today, and all of the settings that I have in Streamlabs, all the little pop-ins, all the little niceties are all still there. I noticed I've now got a Prime, is it Prime I think they called it? Or Premium option, which now has a number of things in it. I think a few of the things that were used to be standard are now in there as well, so it's like $12 a month or something, so that's not a lot, and if we do it regularly I might dip into that, but it looks like I can do everything I need to do without using it. So I had a little tinker today, and I've got a number of ideas and a few, just how maybe I want it to look when we do a stream. Now, here's the thing. I want you guys' opinions. That's a sentence, isn't it? I want you guys to tell me how you like viewing a stream. Now, bear in mind that I don't stream at a computer. I stream directly from where I play my games normally, in the beanbag, facing the massive telly, laptop beside me, everything. I mean, it's a great setup, and we can have the camera, that's fine, but you won't be looking at someone in a massive bloody chair that looks like a sports car. It'll be me in the beanbag like you've seen me before. And, well, it begs the question as to whether you want to see me at all. I mean, I'm more than happy to do it vocally, but I think when it comes to streaming, people want to see who's streaming. That's fine. Obviously, I'm not young and hot, but that's okay. We can move past that, people. There must be some kind of filter that makes me look 25, isn't there? Yeah, we must have the technology, people. In fact, I saw an app where you can paste your own face into famous film stars like Matrix, Keanu Reeves and all that. I need the opposite of that. I need their face pasted onto just here, underneath my hat. That'll be fine, wouldn't it? So anyway, I want to know from you guys what you like to see, because I was looking through templates and stuff, and a lot of streamers now, it's not like I was doing back then, and it was just full screen game with me in the corner, and I tried to put a fancy border around the cam, like relevant to the game. Like I had a Bloodborne one, I had a Dark Souls one, that just made it look like it was authentic to the game, that I was sat in that little corner. But that seems to be like, people seem to prefer, or certainly streamers seem to do, these more hub type frames. So you guys can see the whole chat thing on it, and you've got another big box where the game is. So you've got the game there, you've got the chat box here, you've got me sitting somewhere in that game frame. And it's all kind of mixed up like that. There's a whole bunch of merch stuff, which I won't be doing, obviously, because I don't have merch. So I need to find a template that's not got that in it. But would you rather see a hub like that? Or would you rather just see full screen game with me in the corner, like I was doing before, and just with little pop-ins when people sub? Because I like that sort of stuff. I think it's nice. And, let me know in the comments below as to what format you like to watch the streams in. so that when I do set it up, it'll look a bit more. I mean, we can try a few. You know, I can set up a few different ones. You can have different options. You can set up templates, I think, and your own templates from templates, or you can create your own from scratch, I suppose. I could look at that. But I'm going to work on that possibly tonight after I've done this, or I might do it on Saturday, Sunday. And I'm really going to try and develop something that's nice for you guys to watch and take part in and stuff like that. So, and I need to figure out a whole bunch of other stuff as well. I don't know if people will be interested in doing donations and stuff. I mean, most streamers have donation options where people can donate if they're enjoying the streams and stuff. So that's something I can look into. There's all those options there. I've already got the PayPal account linked to it anyway from last time, although I never actually put the donate button on there. But, you know, it's not like I wouldn't do it just for that anyway. I mean, it would be there if people felt they wanted to, and it's fine. But really, the real big thing that I got from streaming was people found me through it. And it was nice to communicate with you guys as well. And there's certain games that are made more fun by doing it that way. I mean, Demon's Souls might be a prime example, because the Dark Souls stuff and Bloodborne stuff was great. I even had people like Jason and stuff jumping into the gameplay with me, and you know, because you could was that Bloodborne? I think it was, wasn't it? It was Bloodborne, I'm sure it was. And he jumped in and helped me out with the boss and stuff like that. So there's all sorts of stuff, you know, and it's nice to be able to connect with you guys as well. So anyway, I've got a little bit of a buzz on for doing some streams over this 3 weeks. And I haven't decided when, where, or how. But I'm having a lot of ideas about how. So I want your thoughts about how you want to see it when I do it. Do you want the hub format? Would you rather it was full screen game with me in the corner sort of thing, with the little thing popping in for subs and, you know, less invasive? Or do you like looking at it in a hub view? I mean, I know the quality of the game picture, for example, isn't as good on streams because you can't push up 1080p in its finest form if you're streaming live and want to be at a pace where there's not a massive delay between you and the people communicating with you and stuff like that. So a stream becomes more about not the after image, but more about the experience at the time. You know, so like if you look at, I'm sure my stream videos from before are still up there. And, you know, if you look at the quality of them when you play them back, they're not great. And that's because in order to stream at a decent rate up the way, I think it's 4,000 kilobytes is about as high as you want to go. Whereas with the videos that I render, I think they're like 20,000. So, I mean, there's a massive difference, you know what I mean, in the quality of video that you're pushing up. But people aren't looking for the best quality of video when they're streaming. They're looking for a good picture, but they're not looking for something that's going to, you know, be Digital Foundry's best ever image or anything. They understand that there's a limitation. And I think that's why a lot of people do it in that hub format where the game's in this box and there's chat here and there's, you know, because it reduces the size of the image, in which makes it look richer. And so that's fine. I can see fireworks going on out here in Blackpool. There are fireworks flying in the air. It could just be from someone's garden, to be fair. I don't know if it's something special going on or what, but I can hear them banging away as well. So there you are. Let me know in the comments below about all of that sort of stuff, people. Let me know your streaming thoughts, what you want to, what format would you like me to do it in, and I'll take it all into consideration. And I'll have a good tinker over this weekend, and hopefully I'll have it all set up so that when I do get the buzz to say, right, it's time to do a stream, I can just fire straight into it without much of a ado at all. It will just be there for me to fire up. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm quite excited about doing one again and communicating with you guys directly, other than just via the chats and stuff. And I know a lot of you have asked me to do streams again, so I shall try and get it going now. And I did want to do some in the festive season as well, because we're still going to, I mean, we're now in proper lockdown in Britain again as of today. So all of these things it's all going to give me a lot of time to just tinker about and get things set up. And I was hoping to do a New Year's Day stream, and, you know, like I did that year where I got loads of people recognising my channel because there was very few people streaming and everyone was off. So it's one of the good days to stream. But I wasn't able to do it the following couple of years because I was away. I was away down south. So yeah, so there you are. That's pretty much all my thought process at the moment of what we're doing in the coming week. I'm just super stoked that I'm going to have the Series X on Tuesday. Tuesdays, I will try and do an unboxing. I'm not sure. I probably won't do an unboxing video on its own. I think what I'll do is I'll record myself unboxing it, And then when I do my podcast for that week, I will just put it in as part of what I talk about and have the images up of me unboxing it. Maybe I'll do that. I mean, the internet is just, and YouTube is just filled with people unboxing them. I know you guys have asked me to do unboxings, but I think to do it as part of the podcast would probably be better. There's just far too many people doing unboxings as it is. I don't know if people need to see somebody take. I mean, you're talking about taking the console out the packet, the controller out the packet, and 2 cables out the packet. I mean, how many times are you going to want to watch that? It's like, there's only so much to get excited about. The exciting stuff's when you plug it in and play some games. I think this is proper fireworks, actually. They're going off everywhere. So there you are. Let me know in the comments below, people. Let me know how you want me to do all this streaming malarkey, and I shall try and build it the way that I think you guys are going to enjoy it. All right. Let's get into... I'm not overly sure this is going to be that long a podcast, because I really just wanted to talk about what I'd been doing, the fact that I wasn't going to record anymore now that I've done the last part of Kings of Amalur on the One X is going to be up tomorrow, part 14. Then it's all about the Series X, me setting up for streaming over the weekend, Series X arriving on the Tuesday, and then we are into next gen, people. That is it. We are on with it. And it looks like the Xbox Series X is going to set up dead nice, because it's all my saves are in the cloud. And I think what I'll do is basically I've got all of my last gen, all of my back compat games are on an external hard drive, so they can all just stay there. Anything that's on the main hard drive, I'm just gonna do a factory reset on the console and just wipe it, and then plug the Series X in and let it install the games that I'm interested in right now, which is Valhalla, and then some of the back compat ones I'm going to be, this gen ones that we're going to have a look at, be it Fallout or Skyrim or blah, and then just crack on to some recording and really start enjoying it. That be the plan, and the same will happen with the PlayStation. But with the PlayStation, I'll need to buy PlayStation Plus for a month just so that I can push my saves onto the cloud. Unless I use a hard drive to do it, but I think it might be easier just to stick them on the cloud. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but if you've not got a PlayStation Plus membership, your saves are not in the cloud. You only have cloud storage if you've got PlayStation Plus membership. So if you thought that your saves were up there, they're most likely not. They're most likely on your hard drive. So yeah, it might be worth just telling people that, to be fair. I was unawares of that until recently. So, yeah, I'll either do that or I'll find a way of getting my saves off onto a USB pen or something. So there you are. So we did have a few bits of news to talk about outside of that. I saw that Bethesda they're having a major overhaul on the engine that runs Skyrim and, all of their games, basically. Skyrim and Fallout. They're having a major overhaul on the engine for Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6, and it's the biggest overhaul there has ever been on this engine, which is great to hear. I mean, they must see a lot of good in their engine. I mean, I do, and we all do. We've all played it, and we all love it. So they must see a lot of good in their engine not to rebuild it and just overhaul it and keep some, they obviously love a lot of what they've got. And they did talk about that, and he did say that the things like town building and all that sort of stuff, parts of the engine they really like and they want to keep. So it's all the other outside elements of that, that they're working on to make it smoother and better. So it's really good to hear that, because for a long time they've sort of stayed with the same engine, haven't they? And I think even if you move, I think like Fallout 4 is on the same engine that Fallout 3 was on, for example. Like, there's been no major development in the engine itself. So, they've made things look prettier, but the engine itself is kind of the same. So this is great to hear. They're having a major overhaul of it. Also, they've yet to have a game that runs at 60 frames per second, I think. So, it'd be nice to see this overhaul have that effect. Did they say that Skyrim was capable of 60 frames per second on the... No, because it was a remaster, wasn't it? So I think it was still 30 frames per second. But anyway, it's going to be very interesting to see just what the changes are, how smooth these engines are when we finally get Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. Elder Scrolls 6 is so far away, though. That's not going to happen for ages. Starfield. I feel like Starfield is much closer than we might think it is. Plate Station, for those of you that know, I think I might have mentioned them in a podcast before. They were basically a company that saw that people didn't like the white PlayStation 5s and decided that because they saw in the video you could remove the plates to get into it, the white bits at the side, they set up it was like set up a company called PlateStation, whoever they were originally, and you could buy different coloured plates, be it camouflage, black, red, but every colour under the sun pretty much. And they had thousands and thousands of orders, and PlayStation lawyers phoned them up and said, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you can't just go and do this, you know. And they said, all right, fine, and then they started tweaking about, and then they got another call from the PlayStation lawyers saying, you're not going to be able to do this because of all these reasons. If you do this, you're going to end up in court at some point. And at that point, they were like, "Oh well, we're only a little company. We can't be doing with that." So it was a bit of a shame, and I don't know how Sony have got away with it really, because I mean, you can make pieces of plastic in a shape that people can plug on the side of something, surely, without having to. You know what I mean? Like, you can't put for example, if you were just to smack a sticker on the side, you know, it's not like you can. I'm not seeing how you can void the warranty by sticking a plate on that wasn't the original plate, or it's weird. I mean, like, I remember the Xbox 360, you could buy front plates for that, couldn't you? And I'm pretty sure that Xbox didn't make them all. I'm pretty sure they were third-party companies and stuff. And the PlayStation 4, the original one, you could buy a different coloured slide, it was in two parts, wasn't it? The top bit, the shiny part, you could replace that with a themed one or whatever. I'm sure they weren't all PlayStation. I'm sure they were third party. I could be wrong. But it's a bit sad, really. You think that PlayStation would just let a company, you know, do something. The only reason I can think that they're not is because they've already got plans to be selling as plates. And if that's the case, then obviously they don't want their thunder stolen by someone that's already released them and probably cheaper than PlayStation would. So I think PlayStation have got every intention of selling console, you know, games linked to consoles with special plates and all sorts of stuff. So, and even plates you can buy yourself in different colours. So I suspect that will just happen by nature. You know, I mean, I can't imagine they're going to then start selling. I mean, start selling a black PS5 and a blue PS5, and the only thing that's changed is the plates. So you want people to go and buy a whole new console because they wanted the black one in the first place is a bit much. So I'd be surprised if we don't see face plates at some point. So it's going to be interesting. Or side plates, I suppose they're called in this case. So yeah, a bit of a shame, but hopefully PlayStation will bring us something further down the road. Anthem 2.0, because Anthem, we all know about Anthem. It was an MMO by BioWare. Looked really cool, a bit like being Iron Man. Flying all over the place was quite fun, but it came very repetitive, didn't have a great deal of depth, and it fell on its arse pretty much, for want of a better phrase. And they said, you know, we're not gonna dump it. We're gonna reinvent this thing. And they're doing Anthem 2.0 now. It's going to be completely changed, and they're giving all of this massive work to it to try and bring it back to life. But I just don't know how much life is in it, because when you flop like that, I mean, an MMO is difficult to get people involved with anyway, and you've now goosed it on your first run out really badly, and how do you get that community back? I mean, you can't sell Anthem 2.0 because the people that bought Anthem are going to feel pissed off. So in theory, you're going to have to upgrade it for nothing and let them play it to get the community back, and hope that people that didn't buy it then start playing it. And there's a lot of support that comes with an online game. I mean, it'd be lovely to see if they can do a No Man's Sky on it and make it really, really popular again, you know, but I'm just not sure there was enough interest in the first place, or it brought anything overly new in the first place for people to really be that bothered about it coming back. I mean, it's... Yeah, I don't get it. It's a bit of a weird one. And I'm trying to think of something to compare it to that makes no sense to me. But what's that James Cameron movie with the Avatar? It's like the Avatar, right? With the exception of Avatar was extremely popular as a film, right? It was super grossing at the box office. But I've not heard one person in my entire life say that they want 3 more Avatar movies, right? It was only a massive box office puller because it had all the 3D elements that were all new that we hadn't seen before. The way that they'd done 3D was just wow, you know. But 3D's now fell on its arse. People aren't bothered about 3D. And why then are you making 3 Avatar movies? It makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, I can't think of one person in my life ever that said, can't wait for Avatar 2. Like, no one's bothered about Avatar 2, 3 or 4. Like, and who decided it should be 3 more? Like, since when did we make quadrilogies now? Anyway, it's all very odd, and it's all very, like, I mean, how long was that ago? It's got to be 10 years since Avatar came out, at least, isn't it? Anyway, it's kind of a parallel to Avatar, so far as Avatar was a success, but nobody wants any more of it, I don't think. Whereas that was a flop, and nobody really wants any more of it, we don't think. I mean, I suppose they could make more interest if they put a really good campaign with it, because BioWare are so good at campaigns and that sort of storytelling that they could maybe get more people involved if they get really heavy into the single player story campaign, or invite other people into the story campaign as well. But they really need to bring something massively exciting and rewarding for people to go back to that, I think. And for me, free to play to at least the people that have already bought Anthem, where you can just throw the disc in and it will just download 2.0. So, and that sounds like what they're going to do because of the 2.0 part, but we'll see, I guess. And a weird story about somebody tried the DualSense controller with the PlayStation 4 and it doesn't work. And they tried it with the PlayStation 3 and it does work. And you can connect it to a Switch and it'll work on a Switch. So why then could Sony not just make it work with a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 3 and a Switch? It doesn't make an awful lot of sense, does it? I mean, it just baffles the mind as to what the thought process is with Sony. I mean, I'm sure there's some silly technical reason for it, but it baffles the mind. It reminds me of when the Vita came out and you plugged it into the PS4 and it didn't know what a Vita was. It said, I've no idea what this device is. But you plugged it into a PS3 and the PS3 went, oh, right, you plugged the Vita in. It's like, what's that all about? Anyway, that was way. I mean, I think they sorted it eventually, but that was back in the day as well. Spider-Man Miles Morales gets the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse suit. And I'm as anyone that knows me knows, I'm kind of superheroed out. I mean, stop it now. Stop it with the superheroes. I've tried to play Spider-Man several times now, and I just cannot get my teeth into it at all. And I get it, it's fun, and I just think that I genuinely am superheroed out. And I think at some point, and I think it will come on PS5 without any shadow of a doubt, because it's so quiet and the experience is going to be so good. And there might even be a patch to use the DualSense and all that sort of stuff without having to buy the PlayStation 5 version, because I'm not that bothered about buying it all over again. And I'll get stuck into it and I'll thoroughly enjoy it and it'll be fine. You know, I have no doubt about it. But I just like, and it's great. You know, Into the Spider-Verse, I haven't seen it, but I've seen the clips. The suit is really nice and that's great. So it's a great addition. There you go. I haven't really got much more to say about it than that, really. And, well, here's another one, actually, that I didn't put on my list. The more that we go on, the more games that we're finding that are not exclusive PlayStation 5 games at all. Like, you know, they just keep trickling in that, oh, it's cross-compatible on PS4, PS5. So all of this hoo-ha where Xbox said at some point openly, all of our first-party games will be cross-platform for 2 years. And everyone was like, yeah, that's not going to be the way with PlayStation. Now, admittedly, PlayStation have got Demon's Souls. But in the next 2 years, are we going to see something else that is just for the PlayStation 5? Ratchet and Clank. Oh, yeah, I'll give you that. So we'll have 2. But Horizon Forbidden West is going to be on both consoles, and that's coming in 2021. And I was really surprised at that. I thought that was going to be, without any shadow of a doubt, an exclusive to PS5. But they want to sell it on the PS4. And, you know, I suppose in fairness that because it's a sequel, that engine is built for PS4 anyway, and they're going to be expanding that to the PS5. And also, it makes no sense really, unless you're using the actual features of the new gen, like the SSD is the biggest part of that, which Ratchet and Clank does. The whole point of Rift Through Time is that you can immediately teleport through rifts in the game. You cannot do that on any other platform other than the new gen ones, because it's the only thing that's got the SSD, that's got the speed and IO architecture to deal with it. So there's no bottlenecks. So, you know, you would literally hit a portal flying through a level, hit a portal and sit in a loading screen for a minute and then end up... It's supposed to be instantaneous when you fly through. So, yeah, so I think the more we go, I think we are going to see an awful lot that's cross-platform for the next year or two, and that's to be expected anyway in a brand new cycle of a brand new gen of console, people. So there you are. That's all I have to talk about. The fireworks are still going. I think these fireworks are in celebration of me being on holiday. That's how it feels, people. It's how it feels. So there you are. I'm super excited. My holiday. This is my next gen holiday, people. New gen holiday is here. We're calling it new gen holiday or next gen holiday. I don't care. It's the next new gen holiday. And it started, people. It started. So I'm going to have lots of days of tinkering about with the streaming stuff and my new thumbnails and all this sort of stuff to get ready for Tuesday. And then the minute this big beauty arrives, it's going to get immediate. I'm going to prep before it arrives and make sure that the Xbox One X is already, you know, restored and flattened effectively. And then that thing's just coming out of the box, getting plugged straight in, and boom. I mean, it's literally the swap of a box. I will swap the cable simply because it's a 2.1 cable, but outside of that, it's the only thing that needs to change. And obviously the plug. I'm assuming that it's a figure of 8 plug, isn't it? But I'll use the one out of the box anyway. I'll keep all the Xbox One X bits with the Xbox One X and sell it to whoever would like it. And it'll be the same scenario with the PlayStation 5 when it comes the following week. And it has been confirmed, by the way, that the HDMI cable that is in the PlayStation 5 box is a HDMI 2.1, not a 2.0, even though it doesn't say anywhere on the box that is a 2.1 ultra high definition cable. It doesn't say it. What was that about? It's like somebody forgot. Yeah, it's HDMI lead. It's boring. I'm not even going to overthink it. Anyway, it was confirmed by Sony that it is a 2.1 cable. Right, there you are, people. That's all I have for you. I'm so excited. This week I'm going to be bringing you a ton of stuff, people. But it'll all be coming from Tuesday onward. And as I say, it will be depending on when it arrives on Tuesday, the Series X, as to how quickly I can start bringing you some content. If it arrives in the morning, you're going to see some content on Tuesday without any shadow of a doubt. If it arrives early evening, I still will be able to bring you stuff that day. A couple of videos maybe in the night. But it does, now that we're doing everything at 60 FPS, 1080p, certainly for recording purposes anyway, rendering that, recording's an hour, rendering it 60 frames per second is about an hour and a half. And then you've got to upload it, which is an hour and a half. So, the time for me to upload videos is about three and a half hours, something like that. So, to record and then get it up to you guys, it's about 3.5 hours. And that's not including me tinkering, putting the intros, outros on and that only takes me a few minutes though when I've got the intros and outros, design done, because it's just, I have a template and I just drag the new video in, put the little faders on it and then render it. So, but it is time consuming. So all in all, it's about 3.5 hours to give you an hour video at 1080p, 60 frames per second online. And that's not taking into account that once it's uploaded over an hour to an hour and a half, it needs to render up or process up there to HD. You'll notice sometimes a video goes up and it's only in 480p or 320 or 360 sometimes. That's because YouTube needs time to make that a HD video. So, half an hour later, you'll get all of the quality options. It only happens if I post something up, without much notice, and I want to get it up for you guys quickly. So I just publish it before it's processed its HD side. And, if I do it in advance, then you never see it because it's always, if I record 3 or 4 episodes and have them all uploaded days in advance, then they've already HD'd, ages ago. Anyway, a little piece of inside information for you there. So anyway, as early as I can bring you content, I will bring you content. It just depends on when the thing arrives as to if I can bring you anything on Tuesday. If you don't see anything on Tuesday, you will definitely see loads of stuff on Wednesday, as long as the damn thing arrives, of course. It'd just be like it when I was sitting there all Tuesday looking out the window and nothing happens. But everything I'm seeing is telling me I'm getting it on Tuesday. Super exciting. That's it, people. I'm going to go away because I'm rambling. It has been an honour and a privilege serving for you in this next gen console of mine podcast. And I shall see you in the next one, folks. Take it easy. Bye.